Okay, so today we're diving into a mystery carved right out of the earth itself. We're talking about Lovelock Cave in Nevada. It's this ancient site, just shrouded in myth, controversy, and really a haunting enigma.
It really is.
And right at the very heart of this mystery is the supposed discovery of, well, a massive kind of eerie handprint pressed right into the cave's stone walls.
Yeah, and we're not talking about a normal human hand here, are we?
No, not at all. This impression is said to be far larger, with these incredibly deep, really distinct impressions of fingers and a palm. It suggests, an immense size and strength.
It's a powerful image.
It really is. The kind of image that just sticks with you.
And that striking image, it immediately frames two very contrasting perspectives for us. For those who believe it's basically undeniable proof of a suppressed chapter of human history, one where giants walked among us.
Right.
But then for skeptics, it's, quickly dismissed, natural erosion, maybe an elaborate hoax, or just a classic case of pareidolia.
Pareidolia, yeah, where our brains see familiar patterns in random shapes, like seeing faces in clouds or something.
Okay.
And that distinction between belief and skepticism is just so key here. Because while the handprint is compelling on its own, it's really just the entry point, isn't it? Into a much larger, sort of multi-layered story we need to unravel. So prepare yourselves, because we're going to explore how this alleged mark weaves together ancient Native American legends, fascinating lost archaeology.
Whispers of government cover-ups.
Yeah, tales of paranormal activity, and even these global myths of giants. It's quite a mix.
It connects a lot of dots, or potential dots.
So as we embark on this deep dive, here's the core question for you listening to ponder. Is this mark in stone just a trick of the desert light and our imagination? Or is it maybe a forgotten, powerful signature left behind by beings erased from history? Let's start digging in.
Let's do it.
So this fascinating location, Lovelock Cave, it's situated about 20 miles south of the town of Lovelock, Nevada. And for well over a century, it's been a real hub of controversy and intrigue.
Definitely.
Accounts of the handprint itself, they might vary in some minor details, but they all consistently agree on one thing: its immense scale.
Indeed. And various claims describe the handprint in quite specific ways. Some say it's nearly twice the size of a normal human hand, complete with clearly defined fingers that leave little doubt about its form.
Wow, twice the size.
Yeah. Others go further, suggesting it appears almost burned into the rock.
Burned. Like heat.
As if by some unknown ancient heat or energy, which is a pretty wild idea. And of course, the endless online photographs, they perpetually fuel the debate. Makes it a constant talking point.
Okay, so if this impression is indeed genuine, the implications are absolutely staggering, aren't they?
Oh, completely.
It suggests not only the presence of a giant humanoid in ancient Nevada, but potentially advanced methods of imprinting stone that just don't align with our current understanding of ancient desert tribes or their technology.
Right. How did it get there? And what's truly compelling here is how directly this physical claim connects to a much older, deeper body of lore.
You mean the Paiute legends?
Exactly. The Paiute people, long before any European settlers arrived, had these persistent oral traditions about a race of beings they called the Saiteka. Yeah. They described them as red-haired giants, massive in size, incredibly ferocious.
And even cannibals, right? That's part of the legend.
That's part of the legend, yes. Cannibals. According to these stories, the Saiteka lived in Nevada's caves, emerging to raid local tribes. A real menace.
And this isn't just some vague general myth either. The Paiute legends recount a specific climactic confrontation and supposedly took place right there at Lovelock Cave.
The final stand, so to speak.
Yeah, tired of the raids and fearing for their survival, the Paiutes reportedly banded together. They managed to trap the remaining giants inside the cave.
How?
They piled brush at the cave's entrance, then set it on fire, effectively suffocating and burning the Saiteka alive within the cave. It's a brutal story.
It is, and this is precisely where believers see the handprint as so significant. For them, it's nothing less than a desperate, lingering mark of these very beings.
Like a last act.
Perhaps a final, powerful push against the stone as one of the last giants perished in the flames. It's crucial to understand that for the Paiute people, the Saiteka weren't just a metaphor or a story.
No.
They were perceived as a terrifying, very real part of their history, which lends immense weight to a potential physical discovery like this handprint, you see.
Absolutely. It grounds the legend in something tangible, potentially.
Right.
Now, the story surrounding Lovelock Cave, it really took on a whole new dimension in 1911.
Okay.
That's when guano miners working deep inside the caves, mining bat droppings for fertilizer, stumbled upon a treasure trove of artifacts, and significantly bones.
Ah, the bones.
Yeah. This discovery quickly attracted archaeologists. We're talking notable figures like Alfred Kroeber and Llewellyn Loud. They went on to document thousands of items.
Yeah.
Everything from ancient duck decoys, incredibly preserved, to intricately woven sandals.
And among those findings, it was the unusually large sandals that particularly raised eyebrows.
Larger than expected.
Much larger, suggesting the existence of feet much bigger than what would be considered average for the native inhabitants of the region at the time. But then came the truly explosive claims.
Which were?
Some of the miners, and even some early reports from the time, allegedly spoke of finding giant skeletons within the cave.
Giant skeletons. How tall?
Some reportedly measuring up to 8 or even 10 feet tall.
10 feet. That's incredible, if true.
If true, that's the key phrase.
So this alleged discovery of giant bones, coupled with their supposed disappearance, that really ignites the core mystery here.
Definitely. Where did they go?
What are the competing explanations for this crucial missing evidence? Skeptics, of course, they're quick to argue that these skeletons never existed in the first place.
Or that the claims were wildly exaggerated, miners looking for sensational publicity, perhaps.
Right. But conspiracy theorists have a very different take. They counter that these remains were intentionally removed.
Removed by whom?
Well, they point fingers directly at institutions like the Smithsonian, which, as you know, has long been accused of actively covering up evidence of giants in America.
Yes, the Smithsonian cover-up theory. It's a classic in these circles. This specific accusation against institutions like the Smithsonian is a recurring theme in these narratives of suppressed history.
It pops up again and again.
It does, and the powerful insight here isn't just about whether the bones existed, but how the absence of definitive evidence becomes, for some, proof of a cover-up.
That's a good point. The lack of proof is the proof.
Exactly. The official denial or the lack of verification only strengthens the belief that something is being deliberately hidden. It allows the theory to persist and grow,
Okay, let's circle back to the handprint itself for a moment. Eyewitnesses who claim to have seen the print describe it as measuring over a foot long from wrist to fingertip.
Over a foot? That's substantial.
Yeah, with broad, thick fingers pressed deep into the rock face. The impression, they say, is so precise, it looks less like something carved.
And more
like an actual pressing of flesh into soft stone. That's the description often used.
Okay, so if this is truly an impression of a giant hand, how could it have been formed? The fringe theories get quite imaginative here.
Not bad.
One suggests that maybe the cave's walls were once soft clay, millennia ago, allowing a giant being to leave an impression that then hardened over time into stone.
Plausible, I suppose, geologically speaking, over long timescales?
Possibly. Another, even more radical idea proposes advanced energy manipulation.
Energy manipulation? What does that mean?
Well, the idea is that the handprint was literally seared into the stone through unknown heat or sound or some kind of ancient lost technology that predates our understanding entirely.
Okay, that's definitely out there, but fascinating.
It stretches the boundaries, for sure.
Now, you might think this is just a uniquely Nevada mystery, but its power really comes from how it resonates with stories found worldwide, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Take the biblical Nephilim, for instance. They're explicitly described as giants in Genesis, or the legends of giant beings in South American myths. These aren't just ancient fables. They suggest a shared human fascination, or perhaps even a collective memory of beings far larger than us.
Right, this global pattern is striking. And the alleged disappearance of similar evidence, from the Ohio mounds in North America to archaeological sites across Asia, it directly mirrors the claims here in Nevada.
It does seem to follow a pattern, the discovery, and then disappearance.
This consistent narrative alleged skeletons of abnormal size being unearthed worldwide, only to mysteriously vanish from official records or public view, is what truly fuels the suppressed history theory.
Okay.
The Nevada handprint, in this context, it becomes potentially one local piece of a much broader puzzle, a narrative suggesting that giants once coexisted with humans.
And that the evidence
has been systematically erased to maintain a conventional narrative of human evolution.
One of the most persistent claims around Lovelock Cave specifically is this idea of active suppression by official institutions. The Smithsonian, as we touched on, is frequently accused.
The prime suspect for many.
Of removing giant skeletons from public view. supposedly to preserve the conventional narrative of human evolution, which, some argue, would be entirely dismantled by acknowledging giants.
Right, it would rewrite the textbooks, basically. Others claim the U.S. government itself has sealed off certain caves containing giant remains.
Seal them off.
Yeah, citing perhaps nebulous safety reasons, but, according to the theory, actually protecting what they consider forbidden knowledge.
Okay, and is there any sort of anecdotal evidence for that?
Well, stories circulate. You hear tales of military convoys near these remote caves, of independent researchers being actively turned away, and of entire findings disappearing from academic records. It's hard to verify, of course.
Of course.
But if the handprint exists as described, it could be argued it's one of the few pieces of physical evidence they failed to erase, remaining as this powerful symbol of what they supposedly tried to hide.
Interesting. And beyond the physical, there are also these deep paranormal connections associated with Lovelock Cave.
Yes, that adds another layer entirely.
Explorers have reported experiencing strange lights inside the cave, inexplicable sounds.
Like whispers or movement.
Yeah, and just a profound sense of unease, almost as though they're being watched. Some even claim to have recorded EVP, electronic voice phenomena.
Capturing voices.
Supposedly whispers or chants emanating from the cave's depths on recordings.
Okay, so this raises an important question then. Is the handprint just a physical mark left by a physical being? Or could it be something more profound, like a paranormal seal?
A paranormal seal, what would that imply?
Could it be an imprint left by, say, an interdimensional entity rather than simply a giant human? This theory suggests that Lovelock Cave might be a kind of portal site.
A portal.
It's ancient stone carrying energy imprints across time, perhaps even from other realities. It's a compelling way the human mind often seeks, extraordinary explanations for unexplained phenomena.
It certainly broadens the possibilities. And then consider the potent symbolism of the hand itself.
Right, the hand motif.
Across countless cultures, the hand represents creation, power, presence. And giant handprints are found painted on cave walls globally.
That's true. Argentina, Australia.
Exactly. From the Patagonia region to ancient sites in Australia, are these simply art? Symbolic representations of power? Or are they, as some suggest, the lingering impressions of beings larger than life? A memory etched into our collective consciousness that Lovelock Cave might somehow echo.
It's a fascinating symbolic connection, but of course, amidst all these fascinating theories, we have to acknowledge the mainstream voices.
The skeptical view, yeah.
Who insist there is no conspiracy at all.
Okay.
Archaeologists confirm that the Lovelock discoveries have been studied extensively. Artifacts are housed in museums for public viewing and academic research.
So they're not hidden away?
Not according to the official record. They argue that the stories of giants were either misinterpretations of normal-sized remains, maybe unusual pathology, or exaggerations by miners keen on a good story, or maybe outright fabrications.
Okay, and for skeptics, the handprint itself.
Your pareidolia.
Just seeing a pattern. A classic example. Our inherent tendency to see familiar patterns, faces, hands, animals in random shapes, be they clouds or, in this case, cracks and natural formations in rock.
Right.
And without scientific measurements, peer-reviewed studies, or physical samples taken directly from the print itself, they argue that the handprint remains anecdotal at best, lacking any verifiable scientific validity.
And what's truly insightful here, psychologically maybe, is how, as with many conspiracy theories, the very lack of mainstream acknowledgement.
The dismissal.
Yes, the dismissal by official institutions often serves to fuel suspicion. It deepens belief in a cover-up among those who seek alternative explanations.
It creates a kind of feedback loop, doesn't it?
Exactly, where silence or denial is interpreted as suppression, not necessarily an absence of fact.
And the mystery seems to deepen when we look at modern investigations or attempts at them. Alternative researchers, paranormal investigators,
Yeah.
people trying to revisit Lovelock Cave in recent decades.
What have they reported?
They've often reported facing limited access or finding the area heavily controlled. Some claim they were turned away outright.
Turned away? By whom? Government agencies.
It's often unclear in the accounts. Others describe the cave's walls appearing altered or even maybe restored, as though something had been intentionally hidden or covered up more recently.
That adds another twist. Ultimately, the legend of the handprint It thrives online, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Amplified by circulating photographs, whispered testimonies, and this growing distrust of official narratives that many people feel don't tell the whole story.
It plugs right into that.
It easily weaves itself into larger conspiracies of hidden history, becoming another piece in the puzzle of what might have been, and a powerful symbol of how narratives are formed and challenged in our digital age.
And so you're left with this enduring mystery, really, whether it's just natural erosion, maybe a clever hoax designed to stir the imagination, or genuine, undeniable evidence of giants. The Nevada handprint remains an incredibly powerful symbol.
It really does.
It's a focal point for so many questions that just linger at the edges of our understanding of history.
It truly is. It connects ancient Native American myths, these alleged institutional cover-ups, and humanity's global fascination with giants into one haunting, indelible image. An enormous hand pressed against stone,
Reaching out.
as if reaching across time itself. And this tension between official dismissal and fervent alternative belief, it isn't just about the facts of Lovelock Cave, is it?
No, it feels bigger.
It's like a microcosm of how narratives are formed and how they're challenged in the modern world. Who gets to tell the story?
So was it left by a giant struggling against the flames of Lovelock Cave, as the Paiute legend might suggest? Or is it simply our incredible human imagination turning cracks in stone into echoes of powerful, ancient legends?
We can't say for sure, but one thing is certain. The story of the Nevada handprint will not disappear. Like the hand itself, it presses against our conventional understanding of history. It demands that we look closer, dig deeper into the narratives we've been given.
And maybe question things a bit more.
And perhaps, question everything we've been told. It leaves us with a pretty compelling thought, doesn't it? What else might be waiting to be rediscovered, hidden in plain sight, just beyond the edges of the official story?